I'd like to call this meeting to order. Just as a reminder, we are video and audio recorded, and if you haven't signed in, please do so. If you'd like to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, typically we would have Jenny read the meeting minutes, but we do that ahead of time now. But do I have a motion to approve the minutes as read? Written. There we go.
Motion. Second.
Okay. Pete's.
Good evening. So, fire and EMS report for the night. Just a couple of motions that I'm requesting for. Purpose is to onboard a new volunteer. Harlan Phillips is a new volunteer applicant, lives in Goshen near Kazadale. He will be starting fire school this spring. His physical, pre-employment testing, uniforms, gear, and training will all be covered by the Safer grant. So the requested motion would be to appoint Charlie Phillips as a probationary volunteer effective Saturday, January 24th, 2026.
Make that motion.
Second. Next item is out-of-town travel for training. Lieutenant Donald Brooks is the fire department training officer. In his capacity, he coordinates all of our training as well as often teaches both fire and EMS classes for the department. He has requested to attend the fire department instructor conference in Indianapolis, April 22nd through the 25th. Lieutenant Brooks will cover any travel and hotel expenses. We will just pay for his class registration for the 4 days, which is $673. So the request would be a motion to approve the out-of-town travel for Lieutenant Donald Brooks, April 22nd through the 25th, 2026, at a cost not to exceed $673.
Make that motion.
Second.
Next item, we have a very active volunteer and now part-time person, Hayden Roberts, probably one of our most active members of the department for the last couple of years. He would like us to sponsor him to attend paramedic school, which I think is a good investment for him and the department. As a paramedic intern, Hayden would work a 24/48 work schedule at Harlan Township while attending paramedic school. If he leaves Harlan Township employment before December of 2028, he will be required to pay back the money that the township spent on his school costs. So the action tonight would be a motion to approve Hayden Roberts as a firefighter paramedic intern with Harlan Township sponsoring his paramedic school at a cost not to exceed $10,000 and a part-time 3-year employment agreement.
Make that motion. Second.
Final item is turnout gear. We have approximately 50 employees who are required by law to have firefighter turnout gear. Fire gear expires every 10 years or so on average. So, typically 50 sets, 10-year shelf life, 5 sets a year, we should be good. However, when an employee leaves or we hire new employees, we don't always have the right size that fit. We currently have 8 employees who need new firefighter gear. A set of gear, which includes a helmet, coat, pants, gloves, and hood, costs approximately $4,500 per set. 5 of those sets, however, will be reimbursed through our Safer grant. We get 5 sets a year for new personnel. So the board action item would be a motion to approve the purchase of 8 sets of firefighter turnout gear in an amount not to exceed $36,000.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
Just a note, here's now $4,500. 5 years ago, it was $2,500, and 5 years before that, it was like $750. So just one of those items that just keeps going up and up. That's my report.
Steve Mason, would you like to give our trustees report?
Yep, I have a few things, kind of piggybacking onto the dollar amount of goods and things that we purchased. I would like some discussion on increasing our spending limit for both myself and the fire chief. It's currently $2,000. I think 2 or 3 years ago we increased that from $1,000 to $2,000. Obviously, I do order things, gravel, and even EMS goods. We were over $1,000 routinely, and had to bring that in front of the board for approval. So my recommendation is we don't, Chief Pegram has done a good job of getting more of a detailed line item budget. So eventually I'd like to work toward a system where we stay within the budget line items. We don't have all those line items quite yet for the entire township for all the budget. So I'm proposing a $10,000 for the fire chief and myself. Any discussions or questions?
Is that 10,000 separately or combination?
I would recommend it being separate.
Separately.
Yeah.
What kind of purchases have we made that would be needed on your end first?
Tires, turnout gear,
Right.
EMS supplies.
It's going to be gravel, things like DT we go over, culverts. We need to restock our X supply of culverts. I mean, those kind of big ones. It's not a ton of stuff that we would, and if the board, we could restrict that down if the board wanted to I don't know, things like supplies. So things like we obviously need, there's really no question that we need gravel. Right. If the board wanted to limit it to things like that, we have to have fire. I mean, fire gear is not an option. If they wanted to limit it, I could write something up that way. So
I think what Steve has kind of wanted to clarify previously was the fact that to expedite things, some things have to be ordered. By the time we get back in the next meeting, now we've lost 2 to 3 to 4 weeks to get something that we had to order, and that was probably the main reason why you wanted a higher spending limit. But
I'll give you an example. We recently were going to put in an order for T-shirts, just T-shirts for firefighters, and that's going to be over $2,000.
Right.
So, do you really want me taking up a trustees meeting to get approval to buy T-shirts once a year? Kind of the point. Other townships I've worked at have had much higher thresholds. Several had 0. Once the budget was approved, department heads were allowed to spend as long as they didn't go over their budget or their line items.
What about if we just maybe thought about bumping up, say, to 5 or 5,500, excuse me, and then reintroduce this later down the road, see if it works or if it doesn't? I mean, that would be.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
I'm okay to go to 10,000. I understand what you're going, but I guess we have to all three kind of come to a conclusion that that's what's going to be the best fit. Right? Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see 5,500 or so. I know, obviously, I'd like to see some of the line item things, because I know EMS supplies, I mean, you got to have it, and I'm okay with spending that. So, I mean, we can gear to some line item things. I mean, I'm gravel, I understand that. Salt, fire gear, 100% on board on, we got to have that stuff. So, I mean, if we can gear towards that, I'd be for that. But to the meantime, I would like to see about a 5 to 5,500 is what I would like to see. I just 10,000 from 2 to 10. I think it's just a little extreme. Not that I trust both of you, but it seems a little high for right off the bat. That's.
I mean, I'll make a motion to bump it to 5,500, and then we can revisit it in 3 or 4 months if that works. Sure.
I'll second that.
all right. Next thing I have, and I lose track of years. I'm going to say 3 years ago, we went out for bids for mowing some of the cemeteries. And during that process, we hired J Junior Landscaping. Is it 3 years? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
We'll say 3 years. They've done a very good job for us. They have, last year, they increased their mowing only 3%, which was, I'm sure, below the cost, the inflation percentage for sure. I asked them, we had 4 remaining cemeteries that our crew took care of throughout the year, and those are on that attachment that I gave you. Please don't ask me to go find them right now because I could not. I might get lucky on one or two, but I cannot find all four because that's part of the test. So anyway, he sent me those additional 4 cemeteries, and the total to mow all of those and trim those, this is per event, is $195. So my recommendation is going to be to add these 4 cemeteries to their list and renew J Junior Landscaping Services for this mowing season 2026. Any discussion or comments there?
Yep, sounds good to me.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
And then also in front of you, this just came today, so we're probably the first township in the county to take care of this. You have a copy of a resolution for the road salt purchasing. We do this every year. Ours is a little unique in the county in that our total, we have to give them a number. Last year was 750 tons. We do not use that much. That's the number that we've used for a while. And the county goes and bids this. So we're bidding a much larger quantity, which gets us a better deal through the county. It is a better deal for Harlan Township than the other townships, in my opinion, because we pay as we go. So our guys track the salt that they use. We don't have to take a lump sum of it. We don't have to have the capacity to take everything. The county takes care of it for us. So I'm going to recommend that we re-enter that agreement with the Warren County Engineer's Office for 750 tons of road salt for 26-27 winter season.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
And the resolution number, January?
012126-1, and I'll take care of getting it to county since I have to sign it.
Perfect. I like that. And then the last thing I have is I'm going to turn the floor over to Andy Mitten. He has a presentation he'd like to do. Andy, the floor is yours.
Would you need to stand up?
If you want to. Whatever you do.
Hey, I just wanted to explain to you what happened here many months ago. And with my aging process, my memory's not as good as it used to be. Don't start on me now. But anyway, many months ago, a young man approached me about doing a project in the township because he was in the Boy Scouts. And when I was younger too, I was in the Boy Scouts. But he was a Boy Scout, and he had been going through getting all these different emblems. He lived here in the township. And he said, I got to get a project that I can do because I'm getting really close to getting to the very top in scouting. And I need a project that I can do. And I thought about that for a long time, and it's like, well, I'm not sure what we could do in the township. We have a lot of roadways. We have a lot of other things. And so I talked to him about that. And because the Boy Scout troop is Troop 81, just ironically. The Boy Scouts, same number as the fire station. And the rest of that. So I thought, well, we got roads, we got cemeteries, we got all kinds of things. What would be a good project? I don't know, but I'm going to ask somebody by the name of Larry Burshett. What can we do for this boy to help him get this? He's a senior in high school. He lived here in the township, and seemed like a really good youth and did a lot of things. But I got with Larry, and we had some discussions over what we could do in the township to help this boy, plus help the township. We came up with the idea of revitalizing a cemetery. And you all won't know, but well, Jeff probably would, but there are 27 cemeteries in Harlan Township. Most townships have a few, some don't have any. And here's Harlan with 27 cemeteries. I said, well, we got a lot to choose from. They're in fairly good shape, but some of them are not used at all. Some are, like Edwardsville is the, I believe it's still the busy cemetery, but with the other ones. So we went back and forth on that, and Larry and I got with the young man and did some more discussions, etc. And we picked a cemetery on Starkey Clevenger at 123.
It needs it.
And do what?
As it needs it.
Yep. You know where that is, don't you?
I sure do.
So we thought that cemetery, if you come down Starkey Clevenger and you get to 123 right across the street, there it is. But the road used to have a bridge there, and you went on up and up on top of the hill. And that was years ago. It's a long time, because I remember the bridge, and it's been gone for years. But so it's kind of like a dead end at the creek. But there's a cemetery right there, and we thought that would be a good project to revitalize it, because it was called New Hope. So the name kind of fit in with what the things that we were working with. And the cemetery has not had any activity for a long time, but there were. It was just not. It needed some work done. So we approached the young man about that, and he said that would be perfect. So he would come over after school. He's still in school, and this was in the spring, and he would come over because we had it wasn't active, but there were a lot of headstones there. Some of them had fallen over the years. Some were really dirty, etc. So this would be a good project to clean up the cemetery, separate from the mowing and everything that was being taken care of. So it's worked out good. So he went in there and he started doing it, and then Larry supervised him during this project to make sure everything was okay, because it was a township cemetery. And he spent some time over there too with that young man. And they're going around cleaning all these things up. Lo and behold, they started finding headstones that were buried in the dirt that had been there for years, because the cemetery wasn't active. Very few people even knew it was there. There is a sign there now, of course, since then about that. But after school, the boy would come over to work, and then Larry would be there occasionally. Sometimes he was staying after work to help the young man and try and get all these things done. And they spent several weeks doing this, and the young boy would do it right after school and come up and go up, and then they did this and they worked. But they found all these headstones and were buried. Some had fallen over. Some have been just covered up with things that people never noticed. So he did all of that because he wanted it to look like a new place, which is what happened after he was done with this project. And so they got it all done. They came up, and Larry and I sat down with him and went over and everything. And all of a sudden he says, I think we need one more thing to do to really make this cemetery perfect. And that was to get a flagpole with the American flag. And the young man said, boy, that would really, that'd be a good idea. You did have a good idea, Larry. You did. So they got the flagpole, and the young man finished everything up, and he went to the scout meeting. This was about a month and a half, almost 2 months after he started on this. And he was able to get his Eagle Scout. And his name was Jacob Fry. They lived in the township, but a week after this was over with, and he was graduated from high school, the family packed up and moved out west. We haven't seen him since, haven't heard from him. But the cemetery is there, it looks great, and it was really neat. One day he shows up at my office, says, I want to thank Larry very much for what he's done, because he's done so much. And he brought this plaque. Oh, I forgot to take tape off of there. He brought this plaque, which says, presented to Harlan Township Supervisor Larry Burchett. With great appreciation, Jacob Fry, Eagle Scout, Troop 81. And so I want to present that to Larry tonight. And it's just a nice plaque that we got. Congratulate you and thank you for all you did for the cemetery.
Absolutely.
And I know you all feel the same way, because it really made a difference.
That's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, I was to have that time.
That's all I had.
Thank you, Chief Mitten. I think it's coincidental the Scout Troop 81 and 81 is the fire station. I think he probably started on both. Okay, we'll move on to old business. Do you have anything, Jenny?
I did not old.
Scott?
I do not.
Zach?
No, sir.
Okay. As far as old business, I do have wanted to have some discussion on the truck that we had. Excuse Steve Mason has been kind of shopping. We didn't really, I brought it up at the last meeting, but we really didn't have any discussion about it, what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Tahoe's on its, getting on its last leg. I mean, you gotta have a dependable vehicle and to be able to go out in the township and do what you gotta do. I mean, I know you sent us, quotes on not just Chevy, Ford, and all of them. I'm for the, cheaper option as long as you can wait to get it ordered. I know you said it's gonna take a couple weeks or months, couple months.
Yeah, I don't think there's, as far as timing, there's no, there's no urgency on having to have one that's in stock or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the quotes I had sent from buyers were ordered units. I think I'd sent out to you guys via email. The reason that the one in stock over there is higher because it was ordered as a retail unit, not as a fleet unit.
What do you think cost of upfitting?
So my thought is that, just do a low profile light package. It doesn't need a light bar. It doesn't need a center console. It doesn't need a Q-small charging system. So what was the upfit on the, do you remember what the upfit was on that?
5,500, I thought.
And it was for the Italian vehicle. Was that included the cap? Oh, that's kind of hard to tell.
20?
Yeah, I guess my goal for that would be to be in the 8 range, 8 or less, or somewhere.
Are you still planning on putting like a county radio in it and stuff like that?
I'd probably just use a portable. So we could, I'm just looking at cost savings. If I just ran with a portable, they don't have to pull the headliner, they don't put any antennas on the roof. So that would be another cost saving measure there. And without having a console, and I think you put a radio, you might have a console. But my thought was just run via a portable radio. I have 2, so one would just mount a charger and run that inside the truck.
And we could always upfit it at a later date.
If things, we need to add stuff later, we certainly could if it changed roles. It is a long bed 1-ton truck, so it's looking down the road. It could end up at the township. It does have a snowplow prep, so it could end up, with a small salt box on it. It could end up with a snowplow and those types of things. So we'll be equipped for multi-purpose. If it's something that we had an issue at the firehouse with some vehicle and we had, at whatever time we got there, we needed to have a vehicle there. It could be converted to a brush truck. It could do a number.
So you're not planning on putting the rollout tray in there?
I don't think so. I think I would put a cover on it and some sort of tool rack mounting system inside with the cover, probably doing the cover upfit through Tri-State Public Safety when we got there. The one thing that I did have them spec on here, which is at the bottom, are the step bars for the truck, which are the same as what's on Chief Peagram's 2020 and the 2025 battalion truck that we purchased. It's GM's basic steps for the 4-door truck. And I don't know if we can get something cheaper for $575 for aftermarket step bar. I think that's pretty competitive. It is being a 1-ton truck. It's a touch taller, so it is pretty tall to jump in and out of.
It already has the gooseneck prep in it.
I've not ordered a gooseneck prep. It does have the tow hitch, but does not have gooseneck. I don't foresee us having a gooseneck probably. If we had anything here, it's going to be a pencil hitch behind one of the dump trucks, I would think. But it is equipped pretty much identical to the battalion truck that was. Besides, it's a long bed, 1-ton. It's the same options packages as that battalion truck.
Yeah, the battalion was $14,695 a year ago for the upfit. And if you take off the things that Steve mentioned that he doesn't need, you're looking at savings about $8,000. So upfit will probably be in that 8 or 9 range.
I think it's.
You're probably not doing strobes or anything all around.
I would do just the LED, so I'll have tricolor lights, grill, sides, and the rear, and they'll be yellow, white for doing road stuff, and then red, it'll flash red, white for fire department functions.
Are we going to use all township funds, or?
That would be my recommendation, Jenny. That's kind of we always kind of refer those to Jenny.
That would be if it's going to be something that Steve's going to use, we would just take it out of the general fund.
And then we do have the 14 and a half. So where did it go?
Oh, that American.
Yeah, so just kind of a separate, the same conversation. This 2273 fund, if you look that on the sheet, it is currently at 14,607.56. That is the remainder of our ARPA funds that started somewhere in the $550,000 range. We purchased, the dump truck came out of there. And those that second round of COVID funds. So the money
That has to be spent this year.
It does, yeah. So the money in here has to be. It's already been. I don't want to get in the weeds. It's already been allotted toward our general use areas. That part was done. That had to be done a year ago. But the money has to be expended and out of the account by the end of 2027, 26 this year. 2026.
20 at the end of the year.
Oh, here it is. So one option would be to use a 14,607.56 to clear that account out, unless there's another targeted use for that, and then pay the rest out of the general.
All in all, at 57,257, and what is a number that we can be comfortable with as far as any of the accessories that you are going to have, that you would like to use today?
So I would suggest doing the upfit separately, as because I would just take it to them and say, because I really would be guessing.
And you want to wait for that?
I would wait. I mean, we have 4 to 6 months before the vehicle comes in, and that way, if we needed to adjust, I kind of have an idea of what I want to do. It's fairly basic as far as the lighting package, but that way we could have a more definitive number on what that upfit would be. If you wanted to set something out, we certainly could, as far as a maximum, and just work underneath that. That's up to you guys if you want to.
I guess if we have 6 months, we got a lot of fun.
You got some time to, yeah.
Are we then obviously going to sell your car now?
Yeah. So we talked about the Dodge truck going to the road crew for a shorter wheelbase plow truck for Pleasant Plain, wherever else they need that vehicle. And then that would leave us with if we wanted to go ahead and do something with the black Tahoe, and certainly the maroon Tahoe for sure. We also have the black Tahoe to discuss as well. Throughout our conversations, it's always been trying to how do we get less vehicles.
Excuse me. So the maroon Tahoe for sure.
I believe so.
And then the black we talk about, because that is pretty necessary right now.
Yeah, we'll see if we can use the Dodge to replace that. That's a discussion we can kind of have. But certainly, then I don't know what we've gotten for the last. We had the Expeditions. We sold 2 of those. They were in much worse condition than as far as rust. And I think those were in the $3,500 to $4,000 range. I think that we sold those for. So I would just ballpark the Tahoe, at online auction at 6, 7. Now, very good. I know. I really didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, the only thing I would double check is whether the black Tahoe or the maroon Tahoe makes sense to go next. One may be better than the other. I don't know. I haven't driven the black one. Black one may have more miles on it.
Well, it's got 100
A little bit, I think, yeah.
114 something.
Yeah, it's not
I
much.
say the worry with me, it sounds like, Chief, that you had a bunch of electrical stuff that was shutting down, and as far as I know, the black one doesn't have much issues. So I mean, if we're going to keep one, I would get rid of, or keep the black one, get rid of the maroon one. But also, like you said, I mean, trying to lower our fleet, if we get rid of both of them. But
And the black one was donated. Correct?
Yes. Yeah. But I guess we can figure that out when we get the truck, and you're 7 months or so by the time they
Copy it's up to
upfit
and everything. Yeah, probably.
Well, might be willing to make a motion to not exceed 58,000 on the purchase of this 2026 Chevy Silverado LT 3500.
Is that enough to fit the rockers in? Because we're
talking.
because I think that's necessary.
We're close. Are we just over the? My brain is. Steve, maybe go
It's 57,832 would be the total with it.
That'd be fine. If you got the math there, then yeah.
I think Ed already did the math.
Did he?
I'll second that.
Thank you, board. And then Jenny, can you at your convenience give me a PO?
Oh, yep.
No hurry on it.
Want to move on? Jenny, do you have any new business?
New business, yes. We received the letter from the Greater Warren County Drug Task Force. Every year they ask for a donation towards the task force. The last couple years, I want to say we gave them their full amount. They are asking for, why are there two different numbers on here, Steve?
So there's last year, so there is the last year's amount.
Well,
And
it
then there's
says 26 and 26 contribution, but it's two different numbers, 49.29 and 73.93.
The one number was last year's, the other one's this year's. See the difference?
So there's okay, so
Yeah, so
maybe the 2020, maybe last year they asked for $1 per resident,
yes,
so
they're
it
asking
was
for
$49.29, and this year I guess they're
that's why I heard that
asking
as well.
for $1.50.
$1.50 per resident.
So there's just a typo. All right, so they are just asking, like I said, last year we did give them the full amount of the $49.29. It just goes towards the drug task force. He will be here at our second meeting. Well, we're only going to have one meeting in
18th.
February. Sorry, Abbott. Sorry. So February 18th, he will be. Major Aerosmith will be here to give his report that he does every year. My question to you is, do you want to pass a motion tonight for me to go on and cut a check for the 73.93 or a different amount, or wait till he does his presentation? But either way, I'll need if you guys want me to do anything, I'll have to have a motion.
What was last year's?
Last year was $49.29, which is $1 a person, and this year they're asking for $1.50, so it's taking it to $73.93. Like I said, we can wait until he does his presentation if you would like to do that, and then we can make the motion that night on whatever we decide to pay him.
Have always, years past, we've always given what they.
When years past, when it was tight, we did half. But the last couple of years, we've been in a better financial state to where we were able to give them the full amount that they asked for. Of course, I'll pass this down, but those are townships that gave above. They'll show what they have other funds for that we do. Like I said, we don't have to do a motion tonight. We can wait until he does his presentation and do it that night while he's here, if you prefer to do that, and I have no problem with that.
The higher numbers are in the communities that don't need that drug task force as much. Would be more inclined to go with the new $1.50 amount. But we all have to kind of discuss that.
I'll make that motion to go ahead with the 73.93 or $1.50 person.
Okay. Would you like me to have that check and you guys can present it to him that night?
Can we do that? That would be great.
That kind of might be a nice little thing. I'll do that. I'll have it for the February 18th. And I'm sorry, who seconded that? Because I started. Yeah, sorry. Okay, that's all I have for now. But we will have to pass this down eventually.
Scott, do you have any new business?
I do not.
Zach, do you have any new business?
Yes, I talked to Jeff and Larry and Eric about there's the maintenance building up at 82. The sliding door on it is kind of rotten and doesn't seal up the best. And so I got with someone to at least get us a estimate of what it would take to fix that door where it can be more seal tight. There's We are losing, heat out of it.
This is the 123 one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
But like I said, it is losing heat. But I did get an estimate of $6,700 to basically they will frame in and put a new door up that will fit everything that they need in. Larry or Jeff talked to them, so they knew what he wanted. And then the other one there is to replace the existing roll-up door there. The bottom panel is rusted away pretty good, and the second panel is dented in over the years. Somehow, somewhere, it got dented in. I'm more looking for discussion. I mean, if we want to go, we can, but definitely the putting the new door in would be something I think is very a necessity to do. The other one is more, I guess, looks, and the bottom panel is probably the worst one. If
It's all rusted out. On the inside, it's rusted out, so.
Yeah. I mean, we could look at put one panel, but I mean, that door's as old as that building is. Well, not as old as it's been put in. I don't know when it was put in.
The bottom half has been replaced already once. And it's already rusted out. It just, because of salt.
Yeah. But like I said, we can get some other quotes if you wish. I just want some, I didn't know what it would cost to even think about it. And I wanted to make sure we could even put a roll-up door in it. And obviously we can. And that is insulated. The only thing is it's not a powered roll-up door. It's just, which the one there now is not power either. It's just a manual raise up. So.
How's the concrete floor there where the door is going to shut? Is it
It's
just
good.
Is it just flat? So there's no
There's
weather
no
lip or
problem with
anything?
it. The only problem we do have with it is if you get a bunch of rain, the way the driveway sloped,
Right.
it comes back in.
Right.
And then it runs out alongside the door. And not a whole lot of it comes in, but it runs off the side of the door. So that's another issue there. But
Can that be corrected in any way easily?
No? Probably in the long run, we just have to cut the whole thing down to where it slopes back the other way because it's just kind of mounted up over time.
Yeah.
But I mean, that wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Right.
No, but the majority of the drive would have to be taken out.
I'd like to go take a look at it. I think it's a great idea. And I'd like to get a couple more estimates. Just to make sure we're in the right.
Yep. Well, I wanted to get, because I didn't know if it's going to cost $50,000 or $5,000 to do, and
Start somewhere.
And get the discussion started. And like I said, if one of you two know anything or someone to get us another quote, I know
Who would we use on the other building across the way?
Brian Coomer.
Coomer?
Yep.
Okay.
And he was another one I was thinking of. If we wanted to get a quote.
Is that Express?
Express Pole Buildings, I believe, is Brian Coomer's business name.
Yeah, there's quite a few different door companies. Advantage Door. I've used quite a few. But none of them are cheap by any means.
No. And I didn't think it was, for what he quoted, I didn't think it was off the chart, but
No, it's actually a good price.
getting it done.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know how old that door is, but a lot of the doors now are aluminized, and they're pretty tough. They put a baked on coating on them, and I don't think they're anything special order. I
This
think
one
that's just pretty a common door.
This one's not.
Yeah, and it even that existing door, I mean, it right there by the walk-in door, I mean, it's rusted where you can see daylight coming through. I mean, try to save as much heat as we can. I know it's not a great insulated building, but yeah.
Let's keep working on that.
Yep.
I think that's a good idea. It'd be good to get that straightened out.
Well, you said you'll take a look at it too, and
I'd like to drive over and go. Yeah.
that's all I got.
We already checked. I didn't have the exact. Jenny doesn't have. You already got.
I already got it.
All right. Community comments.
I have one comment and a question. First of all, over at the end of December, the fire department, I'm listening to them. They made 2 emergency routes with family members, and they were phenomenal. I was at one of them, and professional, polite, thorough. They worked on my dad for a while, and it was amazing, the service that they provided.
I'll look up the road, make sure they get things.
So thank you guys. The second one is last month or last meeting, you said the minutes were not gonna be read, which is fine. When do they get put online?
I try to have them, so this time they went on a little late.
Okay,
Normally Jenny sent them to me at the
I try to get it typed like the Wednesday, Thursday, or the after the meeting,
right.
and email it to these guys, and then I ask them to read it to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. And then after that is when Steve plans
so
to.
normally it gets sent. So typically, again, as long as I'm not out or I don't miss it, it's on the Friday the week before, Thursday, Friday, before the meeting.
Okay, all right,
So this one I sent to them, I think Monday.
okay,
So I don't know if they, and then it depends, and it's up to them to get it posted. So
okay.
some of it depends on if they're behind or they miss it or something too. So we try to get on there 5 to 6 days before the next meeting.
Okay. That's all I have.
And those are too, and it says on those are the unofficial minutes
Right.
because they haven't gone through the meeting
Okay.
yet. So but to get them posted ahead of time, we have to have the unofficial minutes.
Okay. Are you updated then once they're official or?
If there's a major change, so we have once or twice.
Okay.
If it's something like you misspelled the guy's name, I don't send them to get
Okay.
changed.
Okay, thank you.
If I put too many zeros on a number, then.
They do fix that one?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
just was
I've done
curious.
that once or twice. It was pretty good for us, though.
Decimal points are on the spot.
If we'd have been a little faster, you could have told the fireman himself, but they had to go.
I know. Thank you, that's all I had.
Jenny, do you have any correspondence?
I do.
The one we just discussed. I don't know if you guys have seen these before. These are the statistics from the Warren County Built Board of Health. I'm pretty familiar with them. I saw them for a lot of years.
I won't tell them it was you, Andy.
That comes out typically every month.
Yeah, it's monthly.
It's a monthly publication that kind of has a lot of immunizations. There's a lot of other information in there that's kind of
Interesting.
coincides with the county,
They're like violations that they've had.
something like that. I don't think they post that. They do talk about that in the meetings, but I don't know that I've seen it as reported.
Harlan Township looks pretty good on that.
Okay, can I get a motion to pay the bills?
Helps. Motion.
No,
Okay, got a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second?